We are here to have a conversation and give you an insight, a very important insight on what the government at the center has been doing and intends to be doing on Kashmir over the next few weeks and months. A lot of activities already happened which we are not aware of. We're putting it all together for the first time. And what you're watching on your screens seem to be innocuous visuals, but this is the fundamental root. Can I get those visuals back on our screens, please? The fundamental root of a completely new approach in Kashmir. That is a senior bureaucrat who has been going, amongst others, to places, villages in completely remote areas of the valley that have never been approached by any senior level official before, where they've gone and spent the night and now are personally responsible for ensuring that delivery takes place. This is the activity that's been going on, which has not been mentioned or highlighted. Just because the government is being subtle and careful doesn't mean that we should ignore the gravitas of the moment that we are now in. For the first time, something different is being tried. How can it be made better? And how do we ensure that this effort is not in vain? Let's have that conversation. On the broadcast with me, Sudesh Verma representing the Bharatiya Janata Party, Sumit Peer, political analyst, joining us on the broadcast, Commodore D.S. Sodhi joining us in just a bit, Syed Babat Qadri is joining us from Kashmir. My colleague and senior ITV editor Rakesh Kumar Singh is joining us in our studios, and Ajay Jandial is also joining us on the broadcast. Of course, Ajay and Rakesh have put together this story, so let me start with them. Ajay, if you can help us understand, our viewers are watching a set of visuals on their screens. Now, they seem innocuous. Why are they important?
Well, if you see that these visuals are very important for the people of the Jammu and Kashmir, and especially the people, those who are living, in the far-flung areas where there was no electricity, where there was no water supply, where there was no schools and no administration. But these visuals clearly shows that these efforts of the government will definitely bring development in that areas, and definitely they'll be, they'll be given justice, because for last so many years they were facing so many problems in that areas. But when this government they initiated this program and back to village program, which clearly shows that it is basically to serve the people, and that is why people are even feeling happy that now, where there were no schools,
context,
no water supply, no
some of these places, have they ever been visited by senior officials who've come to spend the night and figure out the problems and then asked to personally oversee work? Has it ever happened before in some of these places?
Well, if we talk about the past, then I don't feel that the senior officials, especially the principal secretary level officers, they had visited in these areas. Maybe some junior officer employees, we can say that they must have visited sometimes there, but nothing was done there, and that's why this program was initiated by the government to send these senior officials there to take the review, take the first-hand information that what exactly has happened there, what development work was done there, and why, if something was not done, if facilities were not provided to the people, why it was happening. And that's why they are getting information, they are providing the facilities to the people. And now the data they got from that during that visits, I will tell you that more than 7,000 villages were visited by the senior officials during that visits, and it clearly shows that that initiative is very important.
Now just stay with us, Ajay, just stay with us. Let me quickly get our colleague Rakesh into this conversation. Rakesh, जब हम सब लोग देश में स्टूडियोज में बैठ के हमारी इतनी तेज चर्चा चल रही थी भी आर्टिकल 370, 35A, कश्मीर में ये होना चाहिए, वो होना चाहिए, पाकिस्तान पे चर्चा चलती है, एक्चुअली शांति से ये सारा काम चल रहा था. अभी जब खबर निकली है, ये आपके सूत्रों के हवाले क्या प्लान हो रहा है, क्या जो ये काम जो बॉटम अप जो काम चल रहा है, ये क्या चल रहा है?
देखिए ऋषभ, सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात यह है कि जब केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री के तौर पर कार्यभार अमित शाह ने संभाला तो उन्होंने कश्मीर को लेकर कई दौर की बैठकें की थी, और बैठक में सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात उन्होंने जब कश्मीर को लेकर कई पैकेज का पहले ऐलान हो चुका था और जो पैकेज को लेकर जो पैसे दिए गए थे उस पर उन्होंने विस्तृत जानकारी अधिकारियों से ली और उन्होंने कहा कि जितना पैकेज दिया गया है अगर उस पर काम किया जाता तो आज स्थानीय स्तर पर उतना विकास दूसरे राज्यों में भी नहीं होता, लेकिन ग्राउंड जीरो पर नहीं था। और इसीलिए जो केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री अमित शाह ने जो पॉलिसी अपनाई है कश्मीर को लेकर उसमें त्रिस्तरीय पॉलिसी है। उनका जो पॉलिसी है उसमें है कि किस तरह से सेपरेटिस्ट के खिलाफ टफ और जीरो टॉलरेंस पॉलिसी अगेंस्ट टेरर, और थर्ड जो है उनका कि डेवलपमेंट थ्रू लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट। तो ये सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात और उसी को लेकर उन्होंने ये फैसला किया। और जिस तरह से 3700 करोड़ रुपए 3700 करोड़ रुपए जो है गांवों के लिए आवंटित किया गया है, पंचायत के लिए आवंटित किया गया, जिसमें 700 करोड़ रुपए जो हैं वो पंचायत को दिए जा चुके हैं।
This is direct to the sarpanches. So this is happening. Okay, now Rakesh, stay with me. Sumit, you just heard the argument over here. Okay, all of us were debating 370 this, Pakistan terrorism that, what happened in SCO this and that. Actually, the work is happening. You've just heard from Ajay. 7,000 of these villages have already been visited. The first installment directly to Sarpanch has already been given. It's already happened.
Correct.
And these commissioner level, secretary level officers are now being put in charge of making sure the development happens. This is a completely different approach from what we were expecting.
Yeah, Rishabh, completely different, and it comes as a bit of a surprise. But if you look at the Kashmir problem, you see terrorism for some has become an industry there. Right, the people, the militants or the terrorists who get killed are usually in early 20s. Now for last 30 years we've seen the problem here. So they were born in the time when terrorism and killing is a way of life. When they grew up, you mix religion with it and make them the cannon fodder. But as a matter of fact, Rishabh, they are up against the third largest army in the world, third most powerful air force, where our navy is better than NATO.
So the point
no,
was,
the point is simple.
Something different need to be tried.
Correct. The
right?
point is simple. You know, nobody goes and tells them, look guys, you're cannon fodder. Look at the second part of it. Day before yesterday, we had a recruitment drive in Baramulla. 6,000 youth turned up for joining the army. That's the point number 2. You know, so there are people, there are youth who want to come into the mainstream because there were people who had made it as an industry. And the point number 3 is, you see, look at how Amit Shah operates. You know, if you have to give chemotherapy to anybody who is going through a cancer, you have to give vitamins, you have to give antibiotics, and you have to give multivitamins so that, you know, they recover from it. So there will be 3 kinds of souls which will be available. The point number 1 is, first, who have to be liberated. Second, who will be neutral, they can be salvaged. Third, will be still some people who will need to be evaporated.
Who need to be removed.
Evaporated. I would say evaporated. You know what evaporated
removed.
is.
Okay, Sudesh Verma, it's a story that needs to be told. And it seems that because you guys were being so subtle, or the government was being so subtle about this, Amit Shah went, there were press conferences, yes, but there was a lot of subtlety involved, that a lot of work has actually happened. Now, this bottom-up strategy, what's the logic of this?
You see, the state should have will to actually tackle the issue. And you have seen that will was missing because the narrative was hijacked by the separatists, represented by Hurriyat. Then the dynasts, those who are in the political system, is still koto to the Hurriyat or the separatists. And the media that never thought that an approach other than what these people were saying was possible as a resolution. Numerous books have been written, numerous analyses have been done, but nobody came out with a solution. And you see, what we did, Modi won, government, what it did, it isolated the separatists, you see, broke their back, you have seen the NIA action, and never before, no government could dare. We have done that.
Well, the chapter is not closed. I mean,
yeah, of course,
it's happening. Not closed. Yes.
It's happening. They were the ones who used to finance. They were the ones who used to finance stone pelters on the armed forces that used to give shelter to terrorists. And you see, now what is happening? There is a zero policy on terror. You know that terrorists have been identified. They will be liquidated. And third, development. That 80,000 crore earmarked, 80% already disbursed. And this is the story that needs to be told to people.
7,000 villages, the reports are already being filed.
And you
These
see
guys have gone
what
there,
you were
spent
talking.
nights.
What you were talking during the visit of Amit Shah ji, you will see that he did not meet mainstream party leaders, but he met Panchayat leaders. This is very important. So empowering Panchayat.
And he's talked about Panchayat elections first.
And he said,
there are several contentions here which need to be have. Sushil Pandit, I mentioned the point that there are other issues which we've been debating for a very long time that certainly need resolution at a certain stage. But Modi and Shah have gone the other way. They're going bottom up. They're not going top down. They're not doing 370 first and worrying about panchayats later. They're doing panchayats first and worrying about 370 later.
Yeah, I think this is based on some understanding which I'm perhaps not able to fathom completely, which is that perhaps there is a governance deficit which has led to this problem, and that governance deficit needs to be bridged by taking the administration to the doorstep, village after village, show the sincerity by putting bureaucrats and ministers up in the villages, even at night, get them to hear people out, and give them a semblance of being cared for, being reached out to, and being addressed and redressed. Well, good luck for that. Indeed, there was a governance deficit because the politicians in the state were not interested in and did not make efforts to reach all the budgets allocated, all the resources offered to the benefit of people. To that extent, even Mr. Jagmohan had succeeded in the 80s in building a huge popularity for himself. But things have changed since.
Okay.
There was huge intervention in Kashmir when the floods came. Army bent backwards to help people. It was widely appreciated. The amount of money, resources, people thrown in to reach succor people, to rescue them, to rehabilitate them, to offer them relief, to offer them compensation was unprecedented. What happened in the ensuing elections?
But then what happened afterwards? So it wasn't enough. Okay, I think the point is well established, Sushil Pandit. I'll come back to you in just a second. Let me quickly get Commodore Sodhi and then I want to get in Syed Babar Qadri also. Commodore Sodhi, here you go. Governance deficit, at least a willful attempt is being made to very practically address it.
Yes, Rishabh, if you recall, when we had discussions, when we were talking about Kashmir, during the parliamentary elections, the people were getting worried because the type of posting which was being done. But if you look today, I think the government has got a very, very clear intent, and the government is very clear as to what is to be done. The government is reaching out to the people in the villages, panchayats, the elections were announced and now the financial package is also being sent. But what is more important also is that this block level and the district level, teams should also come into place so that the Panchayati Raj, what we have been talking about, the implementation is smooth. It's very, very heartening to see that today the people or the officers at a very, very high level are reaching out to the people, they are visiting the villages. And let me tell you, Rishabh, I too have been to some of the very remote villages when I was writing my book. So it is really, I feel very, very happy today that to me,
so in principle,
seems that the government has got a very clear intent and they want to reach out to the people.
Okay, so in principle, good idea. But of course, now we'll critique it in just a second. Yeah, we'll critique it in just a second to see how we can do better and how we can educate that argument. Syed Babar Qadri, well, here you go. Guess what? Narendra Modi and Amit Shah are actually trying to ensure that governance happens for the people of Kashmir, that money goes directly to sarpanches and panchayats. Should we at least not be grateful for the approach?
Rishabh, let me tell you honestly, this governance boogie this time seems to be very, a strange thing to me. Yeah, you see, we have shortage of High Court judges in Jammu and Kashmir High Court. We are short of judges in our, lower judiciary. Justice is not delivered to the common people. We have cases in thousands which are not being picked up in High Court because of shortage of judges. Since years we are waiting for appointment of judges. They are nowhere.
But this is the situation everywhere
scenario,
in the country.
Judicial scenario in Jammu and Kashmir. How can you expect other things, better things elsewhere?
Today, I think
we have poor people in this country. We have vacancies of IAS.
Poor people in this country, sir. We have problems. We have backlogs everywhere. Even in Delhi, the judiciary has backlogs. What's the point that you're making?
Still, you are giving extensions to the retired
people.
No,
but are you unhappy that senior officials are going and meeting villagers and helping them with their problems? Is that a bad thing to do?
See, it is good, but that there would have been far better position if you had filled the vacancies at the position of, we have vacancies in IAS cadre, we have vacancies in senior KS cadre, we have vacancies on other, prime positions.
Okay, Mr. Kadri, I appreciate that you're raising other concerns because we should critique them, but at least I managed for you to, for the first time ever on a broadcast, say something that happened was good. That the people are approaching it the right way. So the people who were saying that, oh my God, Modi is going to come and he's going to do this and do that, as Modi and Shah's start, has it not been absolutely bang on? They're going directly to the people to help them and shaking up the bureaucracy to make sure it gets done. Mr. Kadri.
Rishabh, let me tell you honestly, there is no delivery of justice. There is no delivery of justice at grassroots level. There is rampant corruption in every department. People are suffering in Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay, so let's crack that. Okay, so I don't mind you raising a practical point.
But rest of the departments
and the judiciary system is backlogged. I think those are practical points, and I'll take them for the practicality that they are. Sumit Peer wants to come in. Sumit, go ahead.
I think, Rishabh, you have to address the elephant in the room. For last 30 years, for some people, they have made wealth out of terrorism. When these ground level changes start happening, it's but natural some dynasts and some vested interest parties like Hurriyat and all, they won't be happy, and their overground workers won't be happy with it. But this is the way to solve the problems, because we have to go to the Panchayat level.
Hurriyat is not asking you to, keep High Court judges vacant. High Court is vacant not because of Hurriyat. It is because of the indoor.
High Court judges are in deficit. So
why you are
just by putting High Court judges, it will not solve the problem. Rishabh, the bigger point is we are going to the Panchayat level and addressing the issue at the ground. So there are people who don't want issues to be addressed at the ground, because the Panchayat is another way.
When we start talking about Bogi Sudesh Verma, now this might
they are not stopping you from appointing judges, appointing senior.
And it's great to see a grassroots approach. Fundamentally, we can't be talking here and trying to figure out things in Kashmir. Somebody has to go there and figure things out.
Correct.
So, and this interlocution concept obviously hasn't worked.
Track 1, track 2,
so
track 3 hasn't
governance
worked.
is the way to go. If governance is the way to go, Sudesh Verma, does everything else get thrown out of the room?
Rishabh, today's narrative, what is coming from Kadri, is something about governance. I'm happy about it. If you point out towards bad governance, I'm happy about it. That can be addressed. But your narrative is changing, which is very good. If you're not talking of Kashmir as an independent entity or so-called plebiscite, then we are ready. Absolutely, we are on the same page. And these issues of corruption, the issues of development, that is why we are there. And we are going to address that. And that will happen through Panchayat level, you see. Empowering Panchayat.
Okay, but you just heard Sushil Pandit and he says, look, these efforts have been made before as well. A lot of good work has been done. It's not going to solve the problem, Sudesh Verma. Other things have to be done also.
Of course, zero tolerance toward
chemotherapy has to continue, sir.
You see, that will continue. It doesn't mean that we are going to lower our guard. But yes, of course, the common man who never got a chance, they were always represented by the so-called voice of Hurriyat or these people who spoke on their behalf without any mandate.
Okay.
But we are going directly
so
to those people.
Sushil Pandit, if we assume that this is anyway a better approach, trying to tackle governance is a better approach than sending him 3 more interlocutors.
Genuine people at right
okay, Mr. Kadri, I will come to you, sir. I will always give you time. I will come to you for a rebuttal. Sushil Pandit, if the assumption is this is a better start, then just sending in 3 interlocutors to buy more time and waste more time.
DGPs, other
what else needs to be done, Sushil Pandit? What's stage 2?
Rest of India.
What's the next level, Mr. Pandit?
You are not encouraging Jammu Kashmiris. You are not encouraging Jammu Kashmiris.
Mr. Kadri, I'll come back to you for a rebuttal. Mr. Pandit, what's the next move?
Rishabh, there is no conflict or sequencing needed between this set of measures and the other sets of measures.
Correct.
They don't have to be sequential. Good governance, it's never a day too late. You have to govern better. You have to offer good quality governance. You have to offer corruption-free, quick, efficient system of administration. There can be no doubt, no argument about it. But the point is that the basic malaise from which Kashmir suffers? No, that is not. That may be one of the extenuating reasons, but it is not the primary reason. It layers the problem with yet another challenge. that layer removed is good.
Okay, so let's start
Welcome.
talking about the other
But
things. I know the larger things, and I've made it a point to spend
It's
most
like
of
a
my debate
painkiller,
talking
but the
about this
tumor
approach
needs
because
to
it's
be
something
taken
fresh,
out.
at least refreshing.
Painkiller
Commodore
is
Sodhi,
good for
do we need to look at the
managing
other fundamental
and
things?
reducing overall stress.
If we were talking last week that, oh, look at these separatists, they have children who are studying
Yes,
abroad.
we have-
Do we ask them to keep them abroad, let them live there only, let them not come back here, let them stay abroad? The people who are not wishing to cooperate with these kind of processes, should we now remove them physically from Kashmir and put them in other parts of the country? What else do we need to do?
First of all,
Mr. Pandit, let
These
Commodore Sodhi take that thought.
Let
I'll
me
come back
tell
to you.
you
Commodore
exactly
Sodhi.
that the government is very clear as to what is to be
these
done.
terrorists need
No,
to
let me
be
tell you that I'm
given
sure
the
that the government is very
consequences of
clear
their
as to what is to
Mr.
be
Pandit,
done.
this is Mr. Dr.
When we
Commodore
have been
Sodhi, take
talking
that,
about the
sir, please.
larger
Commodore
issues,
Sodhi.
anything which is in the interest of Jammu and Kashmir and which is in the interest of the country has to be done, and I'm sure the government is going to do it. We have been debating, I have been number of times I've said that when you talk of Article 370, we talk of Article 35A, and the issues which you have brought out, you know, there are people who have sent their children abroad, but they are creating a lot of problems within the state. So to me, it appears by reaching out to the people, and the intent of the government is very clear. I'm sure the government is going to do.
Okay, but
what
it's different. This is
required
not
to be done
sending
for the
interlocutors
benefit
to
of
knock
the
on the
people
door
of
of
Jammu and
Gilani.
Kashmir.
This is
And
sending directly to the
ground
people,
level.
which have spent so much time highlighting it, which is something fresh and different.
Interlocutors are going to
Rishabh, if you are
I
discussing
think-
governance, that we can debate. If you are discussing
Rishabh,
conflict,
you
that we
need
can
the
debate
people-
separately. That we
Rishabhji,
can
the-
debate separately, because conflict and governance, they are two antagonistic things.
Rishabhji,
No, they're
conflict is
they're
very
antagonistic, you're right, but they're interrelated.
They're
You need-
interrelated.
Sometimes
You
They
need
are
better
interrelated.
governance to reduce conflict.
You're
You
right,
need conflict to improve governance, certainly.
Because you see, when you-
Hang a second. Sumit, before I come back,
Rishabh,
I'll
Rishabh,
get
when you
back
go-
on this.
when
What
you
needs
go-
to happen next?
when you go at the Panchayat level,
Not
the
sequential.
Kashmir
Commodore, hang a
lives
second, sir.
the Kashmir
Sumit,
lives
when
in
it's
the
not
villages.
sequential, what more needs to be done?
The
Sumit,
Kashmir
please.
lives in the villages. You go at the Panchayat level, reinforce the belief there, reinforce the Indian state has reached there. Tell them we are with you. Tell me one God's sake, how did 6,000 people turn before yesterday for army recruitment camp?
Okay.
If every
Okay.
there-
So,
that-
Sudesh Verma, what does this do? This kind of approach, what does it do to
See,
the
again,
politics of
if you
Kashmir?
And
want
this
to address
business of
the
politics
in the
for
politics
address
of
it
Kashmir as well.
separately.
You see,
Don't mix
people
it.
Mr. Qadri,
have
I'll come to you next. I'll come to you next, sir. I will give you time.
You see,
Sudesh Verma.
terror has been the fodder in politics of Jammu and Kashmir.
Absolutely right.
Whether it's National Conference, whether it's PTP or Hurriyat. If terror goes away, common people will exercise their choice. I can say that they are not.
But
they are
these
not
kind of
liable.
efforts, does it change, Sudesh
Of
Verma, the
course,
politics of Kashmir?
Of course, we will not.
Does the politics of Kashmir
we
become
will
about
not-
governance?
We will
Does
not
the BJP
allow
get a foothold where
terror
it's not
to
had before?
flourish in the valley. That is our agenda. If that is stopped, governance of course will improve, development will improve. People will know that their fate for times to come, the lifetime of the generation.
Okay, so if the
lie with
approach,
India,
the question
with
I'm
the
trying to
development
ask,
of
if the
India.
approach changes and the politics changes, do the politicians then change or new politicians come up? Mr. Qadri, here's your chance, sir. Okay, I'm presuming you can't hear me. Sushil Pandit, before I get Mr. Qadri back, you were making a point, we interrupted you, so finish your thoughts, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
So
I can hear
my
you. I
issue
can hear
is
you.
That administrative improvement, governance improvement, of course, is most welcome and is welcome any time. Whether there is a conflict going on or not, governance has to be top class, efficient, and affordable. Problem here is that there is another problem of radicalization, problem of jihad, armed conflict, and a neighbor who's pumping in arms, ammunition.
See,
and
again,
jihadis
jihad,
into the
again,
system.
conflict.
You
If you want to
have to-
address
you have to
governance,
strike
Let him finish, sir. I'll let you rebut. I'll let you rebut. Let him finish.
Supply.
Conflict is an
You have
entirely
to
different
break
thing.
the back of those elements who are giving this
See,
supply
conflict gives rise to
of
people like
Okay,
Sushil
okay.
Pandit,
I don't know whether you can
who earns
exercise
nothing
the two.
but thrives on this conflict.
Because
he earns out of
they
this
might be
propaganda
opposite
machinery.
ends but of the same coin. Sayyid Baba Qadri here, take a
I
chance. Sir.
fail
Take
to
30 seconds. Go ahead.
understand.
Mr. Qadri, go ahead.
See, my take is simply, if you want to discuss governance, governance is a problem. Yes, we want to address it. We want to have better governance. But if you want to address the conflict, conflict has three stakeholders: India, the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and Pakistan.
No,
Get them
back
together,
to the same point.
make them sit
Back to the
on
same
the table.
point.
Get some
That won't
workable
happen.
solution.
That won't happen,
That
sir.
won't happen.
That won't happen.
Not happen.
Pakistan is not a party. Thank you.
Pakistan
Sorry.
is not a party.
Pakistan is not a party.
is the thorn that needs to be very
See, you have to
removed.
talk on Azad Kashmir. You have to talk on Pakistan.
And then snap into
Kashmir.
two.
Pakistan
That's what
has to talk
Pakistan
on
is.
this.
Let's not kid ourselves.
Kashmiris
Let's
are
not kid ourselves. Okay, let's hang a second. We're doing this one at a time. We've been successful thus far. Let's wind the debate there. Commodore Sodhi, then beyond the measures that are already being tried, if it's not sequential, what more needs to be done? Is a subtler approach with a slightly longer term, strategic, perhaps thinking plan required, or do we look at this as an opportunity? Here is Modi with a majority. If he doesn't do it, it'll never happen.
Rishabh, you know, we have to have patience and let us accept it that today you have a government which has a resolve, which has shown the intent. And I'm sure if you recall, I had made a statement that do we have a Kashmir policy? It looks to me that yes, the present government is already very clear as to what is to be done to see to it the peace comes to Jammu and Kashmir. And also the way they are dealing with the terror has to be eliminated, the infiltration has to be stopped. And I'm sure that it looks to me that the government
Sir,
is
they are
going to
not
take on
doing
issues
enough.
one by one.
The
So let us
institution
not
of
say whether
justice, the
sequentially
judiciary
or
is
parallelly how they're
defunct.
going to do it.
Okay, like I said,
Judiciary
happy
is
to have that
defunct.
debate with Mr. Qadri
What
on
today?
judiciary and
Other
corruption. It's great to have that debate.
Saab,
But okay, I have to ask a fundamental question.
Today,
I have to ask a fundamental question. How much time?
Let the governance be good.
How much time?
Let
Sudesh
the governance
Verma,
be
6
good
more
and
months
we'll
have
see
been
to how
bought,
things shape up.
where we don't have to worry about politics in Kashmir, where you can focus on doing all of these things that are required to be done. How much more time? How much can we push it more? 6 months, another 6 months?
This government is committed to resolve the issue of Jammu and Kashmir, and you will see that this government will do it.
But eventually you have to call elections, right? Eventually the
Of
politics
course,
comes
elections
back.
are
Before
bound
it
to
floods
be-
back in, how much time
And
do we have?
yes, local level empowerment is the solution. And if that happens, peace returns to the valley. All this agenda of separatism
Okay,
will
so
go
with
away.
Sumit Peer, if the Panchayat elections are alone held and the assembly elections further deferred, can we be rational and say that the democracy is going, or do we need to be concerned because lots of people will be saying, look, democracy means elections, period.
I think, Rishabh, fundamentally you have to strengthen whatever you have to do at the Panchayat. That's a great move. Welcome. But what I said earlier, the chemotherapy has to continue. These are multivitamins and antibiotics which have to be given. And as a part of the policy, if Article 370 and 350A, 35A has to be removed, that has to also go hand in hand.
Sushil
Everything
Pandit,
has to
do we
go
have
hand
a
in hand.
time window for this?
Aggressive
Is there a
approach is
time
not
window
going
we are
to benefit
operating
government
in?
of India. It will not serve
Or
your
do
national
Modi and Shah have some
interests.
luxury
They have
of time,
committed
maybe
in their
4 5
Listen
years?
to this
manifesto.
point.
It will go. There is no doubt about
And
it.
for the development of Jammu and Kashmir, this article
this
must
thing-
go.
370 and
Okay,
35A has to go.
before we come back
Otherwise
to
you can't have
370,
development.
Sushil
You
Pandit,
go
is there a
back to
time
same
window
thing.
to get these practical things done, perhaps including 370?
Must happen. That is a condition prerequisite for getting at least a different results and not another logjam. And 235A, which is a lower hanging fruit. Even if you want time for 370, but 35A must go through a presidential proclamation. These two issues must happen, should resolve immediately. There is an impact of a mandate. You will lose it if you delay.
Sushil
You
Pandit
have to
wants
go with
that
the
entire
momentum.
Jammu and Kashmir should be in flames.
No,
He wants
I
there-
don't.
there
That's
should be a genocide.
your
He
thoughts.
wants
Sir.
there
Lots
should
of
be
people,
chaos.
and I think a lot of
He
people would
is
disagree with you
Perception.
very, very
Perception.
strongly.
Writing on the wall.
I think we've seen, we've developed
That's
this
on the-
country
that's on the mandate,
He's
right?
sadist.
That's on the
A
mandate.
state
That's writing on the
reorganization.
wall.
Sadist.
That
We
was
have
the
seen
election
in
mandate.
Which were also
Asma
movements.
case.
And,
We have
and
seen him
India
behaving
moved
as
on.
fifth columnist.
The reality is India moved on. We saw the entire state's reorganization happen over 2 decades and India moved on. Quickly before I close this conversation, Rakesh ji, इसमें सोच क्या है? आपके अंदरूनी सोर्स क्या बता रहे हैं? क्या सोच रहे हैं कि देखिए हमारे पास 6 महीना है, 1 साल है, या थोड़ी लॉन्ग टर्म की 3 4 5 साल की सोच है?
देखिए, गृह मंत्रालय के जो टॉप सोर्सेज हैं उन्होंने आज एक्सक्लूसिव बातचीत में ITV ग्रुप से बताया कि आने वाले दिनों में समय की बात उन्होंने नहीं की, लेकिन उनका साफ तौर पे कहना है कि आर्टिकल 370 35A को लेकर ये मोदी 2.0 की सरकार जो है इस पर अंतिम फैसला लेगी। सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात यह है ऋषभ कि आर्टिकल 370 उनका मानना है कि 370 से न किसी को रोजगार मिलता है न कोई अन्य फायदे मिलते हैं, तो ऐसा आर्टिकल 370 को ये सरकार ये खत्म करेगी और इस पर फैसला जो है जल्दी
there is a thought process. This is not an official pronouncement. This is what we have been put together. It was very important for us to have a cohesive understanding of what is going on, because sometimes we left assuming that if the bits and pieces are out there, nothing is happening and there is no policy on Kashmir and it's all make it up as you go along. Today you've been told that it isn't exactly that. Is it the be-all, end-all? We don't know yet. Is it something different that is being tried? Perhaps, as Sushil Pandit would say, maybe it's not just one thing, several things that need to happen concurrently. Several of those perhaps are happening. And every time we get you more information, we'll put these puzzle pieces together, because as a country, it's important that we are kept in the loop of what is going on. I'm going to thank Rakesh and my colleagues Ajay for breaking down the story, and my panelists for having as constructive a debate as you can possibly have on Kashmir on any given day.